This is my grandpa, Gary Lynn Hatch, one of the smartest men I've ever known. I don't think I ever saw him without a dictionary or a mate nearby, and he always had a twinkle in his eye. He had a love of learning that was unparalleled, could measure almost anything without a tape measure, made draperies of the highest quality, and he treasured his wife, 3 girls, and grandkids more than anything. This video is dedicated to him.
No, we are not wanderers on the pathway of life. We've been given direction and we'll follow the light. We all have a purpose that we'll learn as we go.
Grandpa is
intelligent.
Service.
Exact. Intelligence.
wisdom, intelligent.
He was a learner.
Helpful.
Press forward. Press forward.
One of my very first memories of Grandpa, right after I visited him for the first time, and I distinctly remember as we had dinner or lunch or some meal, right after the blessing on the food, he would take Granny's hand and kiss it. And it was just so obvious how much he loved her.
I loved his hugs.
Grandpa was a good hugger, and he loved to give hugs. And I remember he would, walking down the hall in the house, and I'd be walking, and he would stop me and, "Have you had your hug today?" And he would, every day, "Have you had your hug today?" And he would give a really nice hug.
The most distinct memories of him, just in general, is him in the drapery shop.
Of course, the drapery shop.
With all of his tools.
Going in there all the time. They would never tell us to go out. They would never say they were bugging us.
I remember he would always be trying to vacuum his table. He would be moving it around, and then I would always just go down there. He would just ask me if I wanted to vacuum, so I would hop up on the table and just vacuum the table.
Wherever he moved, he would always have a workshop.
That was such a huge part of our life because it was right there with us. So it wasn't just their thing, their business. It was all of our thing.
When we were really little, the drapery shop memories were the little scrap tie things. We would make spaghetti out of them and just do that and watch them come down the little chute.
Even when we were young, teenagers, they would pay us to go and clean the shop.
So that was always fun. And then when we were older, we would work in there, which wasn't always that fun, but they paid us, so it was all right.
For me and Bradley, he'd make weapons. So we'd draw in the wood what we wanted our weapon to be, and then he'd cut it out.
And we would take magnets and we would crawl around on the floor under the tables and under the machines, and we would just pick up all the pins with these magnets.
When we were little kids, we would always go into the workshop and we would always hide under the table, and he would pretend, he would play with us, he would pretend that he couldn't find us, but then he would look on the table and say, "Oh, there you are."
I can't even remember what it was that we were making, but he was stapling it, and then me and Bradley were joking around. We were like, "Oh yeah, if Grandpa wasn't doing this, we'd have nails in the wall and the car windows." And
Favorite thing was those black with the black stand kind of things. Just always crawl through those and get to the kitchen.
I remember he would let us take his measuring tape, and we'd put it in places and have a garbage can at the end, and then we would roll the thread things down.
They taught us to do lots of things in there. We did.
If they had a big job and my dad was doing one thing and my mom needed to help folding, so she would get one of us, and I loved doing that.
I remember sitting on his lap when I was little, so when I couldn't tell time, and he was like showing me his watch and he was trying to explain to me how to tell time. And I wouldn't get it. I was so young, and he still was just like explaining it to me, like, okay, so what time is it? And I was like, I don't know. He just kept on, he was so diligent, he like kept on showing me, and finally I was like, I get it. I didn't get it, but I was so young. But I don't know, I loved how diligent he was to teach me and share his knowledge.
The scrambled eggs was always my dad. I'm not sure Granny even knows how to make scrambled eggs. She probably does, but he always did it.
Christmases they made really nice. It was a big deal.
Making mate, drinking mate.
Anytime they went somewhere together, he'd have his mate with him in the car.
I'd wake up and nobody else would be awake, so I'd go downstairs and he was always down there making mate, like preparing mate for Granny and himself for the day.
The laundry was always my dad.
Every night they would read. He and my mom would read. I don't think they went to bed one night without reading. So just going in and talking to him at night, they would always be with their books.
He showed his love by always complimenting me. I just have so many like memories of when I'd be getting ready for church or whatever. He would just say, "That's a really beautiful outfit. I really like how the colors go together." Or he just give me compliments like that.
When we got older and driving, my dad would always start the car for us in the mornings in Arizona. We didn't think it was cold, but it was freezing to us, so he would go out like 20 minutes early to make sure it started.
I always remember his big white van. That was a pretty fun van. And their house in Arizona with the drapery shop in the garage. It was always so weird how the garage had like carpet in it.
When I was little and we were in Arizona, we were visiting, and it was one morning when I woke up early and no one else was awake, and I heard Granny and Grandpa in the kitchen. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna spy on them, you know. So I went into the kitchen and I like snuck underneath the table, and I was just like watching them, and they were standing next to each other making breakfast on the stove, and they were just you know, just cooking away, and then Grandpa stops and he looks at my grandma and he just says, "I love you." And she looks like, "I love you too," and then he gives her a kiss, and at the time I thought, it's like, oh gross, ew, they're kissing, and that's so mushy, but then now I think it's the cutest and most tender thing for him to do, and I just hope that someday my husband will be that way and will be like Grandpa. He was so educated.
He was seriously like a living dictionary.
Well, he always seemed to have an answer for something, and when he didn't have an answer, he would find it.
I remember when we would always be joking about, if you ask Grandpa a question on how something works, you're always going to get this long explanation.
I remember countless times when we'd be sitting there and we're like, well, how would you say this? Or how would you phrase that? We'd go down and we'd ask Grandpa. And then he'd always, give us the correct term or phrase or tell us what the word meant.
One of the fondest memories in the last couple of weeks that I remember from Grandpa. There was so much to do and so many things to take care of. And he was walking across the room and I just asked him, can I help you with anything? And he said, yes, come here. And I walked over to him and he just put his arms around me and hugged me and held me for a long time. He said, I love you. Thank you for everything.
He was there so much. That's what was different, I think, about our growing up, was he was just there.
He did whatever he could for us. He supported us. He went to all our events.
Just at a time, I was probably early 20s before I got married, just young adult, stressful years, and I can't even remember what I was trying to figure out, or I was upset about something. I was in my room crying, and Grandpa came and knocked on the door. When I opened the door, he had tears. He was crying because he knew I was upset.
There are times when you might feel
He didn't have to say much, and there was nothing that he did to help, but it was nice to know that
you belong.
My dad was sad with me.
There is a purpose. It's been there within you all along. And when you're near it, you can almost hear it. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious.
My grandpa loved with all his heart and lived his life to the fullest. All of our lives will be changed forever because of his influence. On January 1st, 2016, less than 1 hour after the dawn of the new year, Grandpa passed away peacefully, surrounded by his family. I will always treasure the time we spent gathered around his bedside studying the scriptures, singing and praying, and that sweet spirit we all felt. Grandpa leaves behind a posterity reared in the gospel and ready to carry on his legacy. Grandpa, we love you and we miss you.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. And as you feel the notes spill high, you will see. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out